changing up compared to the rest of the series. The Nautilus open and available, and you would fully expect that to be locked in for Zhuo. The question is, what do they want to go alongside it? Because a lot of priority mid laners still there, but you could just try and lock in your bot lane matchup. You could try and go for a jungler. I feel like there's many different directions we could go, and with NIP on the red side, it changes up.
I mean, there is the chance of going to something like a Senna Nautilus. I mean, Photic has been one of the better Sennas in the LPL across his tenure here as well. Thing is, I really don't like Senna into the Varus, so I might persuade it because Varus tends to be really good at cutting through the bruises you're with. If you go for the Senna, you're likely to have an on-hit Varus coming through from state because you kill tanks easier and the Nautilus is tankier with the Senna. Maybe it locks them into that. Lwandy almost certainly going back towards the Rakan. He's been so good on this pick. It's been first pick worthy through this series. They could go for a bit more lane dominance, but this one to me makes a lot of sense to allow Stay and Lwandy the creativity, but also the ability to get the leg over in bot lane, which they haven't really had in this series so far.
Certainly not been the case. Weak side for NIP there. And I wonder if something like a top lane lock-in here could be something good for WE, but I suppose NIP still have the opportunity to counter-pick. Could just go for your jungler instead. But no, they do just want that right side. Looks like the blind pick going to come on through. Wayward gets back on comfort.
Okay, that is going to be that Rex site, and that's important because if you're playing around the center Nautilus, you are going to be, throwing out hard CC. You need to disrupt the backline somehow in the middle of that combo. Rex site, hard to kill as that first target into the fray, because as soon as they're buried, they can get a lot of HP back. I don't know if I like this Renex, and again, it really feels like Shanji has struggled in this particular top lane matchup. Great game 4, won out against the Cassante, did not win against the Rex side the 2 times we've seen it on an individual level. And Wayward with a laning lead is dangerous now for NIP.
Shanji looking kind of nervous on camera there as well. I think he equally is not a huge fan of this as the chosen matchup, but it's going to be what's locked in. We'll have to see if he can change what's been happening across the course of this series. But with the center in your composition, you do expect NIP to try and play towards that top side a little bit more. We'll see what the jungle is going to be for the side of Aki, whether that Sejuani comes through again. That has been their favored pick alongside this Renekton.
Sejuani is okay, and it does mean that you have very high bruiser front line, but the problem is you lock in too many tanks into a Varus, and it just feels like the Varus chews you up in terms of on-hit. Yeah. You need threat onto an on-hit Varus. You need something to stop him from firing. And having stuff like the Sejuani and the Renekton, yes, you can kill the front line. What happens when Varus starts firing back at you? I would almost even wonder if you go towards, maybe you could look towards a Jax for Aki, pick up some more damage there. You need some higher damage threats with backline access for Aki and Rookie.
The Maokai removed. Poppy and Maokai, these jungle pads have been so consistent. Either banned or picked, but removing the disengage is the most important thing. And I think that leans into what you're saying. Trying to go for a bit of dive here. The Nocturne from WE indicates that they know the situation as well, and the Vi going to be taken off of the board too. So, a lot of jungle pans coming on through. That would be interesting.
Now, I was thinking Wukong or Jarvan potentially for Aki as well. They could get on towards that backline. That could potentially help. You need something that can reach that Varus and stop that Varus being just the mainstay of that team fight. If you lock in some of the Lee Sin, you've already dealt away with the Talia and the Poppy. It means that there is less ability to play through that. I really don't want to see multiple tank lock-in from NIP. It feels like WE, with this now being locked in with Sejuani, despite the fact that Sejuani Renekton is a strong combo, WE can lock in another tank killer from the mid lane, maybe even lock in something like the Hui that's been missing from this series, and you can just hold that front line at bay.
I'm really curious what Rookie's going to go for. Rookie having counterpick in this series does feel like somebody out there is writing this series. Rookie gets the counterpick for the final game. Let's see, the Trundle comes on through. Heng looked fantastic on the Trundle against that Sejuani before in the early game. Whether or not it can happen again is a different question. Did get caught out by the Talia on that pick, if I remember correctly. But that Hui that you talked about will be locked in. So very much a tank shredding squad here for WE.
Yes, oh my god, hands together.
Yeah.
Maybe in a bit of a silent prayer to go further in this one. It's tense on our side, folks. Imagine how tense it is on stage. Rookie, last pick though, he's got a smile on his face. He's been in more tense serious situations than this. Offering over that call, you do need damage from the mid lane. You need something that I didn't love the fact that Rookie couldn't influence the game in the same way in terms of roaming, but still, it would be the damage that they need. A couple of picks being hovered over. Last pick for Rookie. What'll it be, Master of the mid lane? What are you going to put in here? And it is Aurelion Sol for Rookie in the mid lane. I like this a lot more now because you have a lot of people that can shield the Aurelion Sol as he flies into the fray. You can hide behind the Lwandy, the Renekton, the Nautilus, have a Sentinel and the Sky's Descent on the same target. If NIP choose their angle well and they layer their ultimates, nothing is stopping NIP from slaughtering FoFo and Stay on the immobile backliners.
We've been seeing the ASOL around the world as a scaling option. Another scaling dragon in the game. Rookie brings it out. Game 5, the first red side game of the series for NIP, and Rookie gets counterpick. He locks in ASOL, and we'll see if it's going to be enough. You can see FoFo on the other side, eyes closed, hands together, praying to someone up there for strength in this series. He goes for the Hui, the tank shredder, up against this tanky squad. Feels like scaling up both sides. We could be in for a long one, but I think we're going to be in for a good one no matter what.
Oh, I really hope so. It's a silent prayer from people in the crowd as well. I absolutely do not blame them. If you are fans of these teams, I fear for your heart rate. But this shall be entertaining nonetheless. With all your friends, this one is definitely one to watch. You got Rookie on the Aurelion Sol scaling up. I think on the other side, Stay, a huge amount of emphasis on the Rookie for Team WE to be the carry on this Varus as well. Chewing through those tanks will have to be their game plan. With FoFo on the Hui, it can definitely help. Varus, Hui, they need to put out a lot of damage.
It's absolute chaos in the crowd. Absolute chaos. Oh, Rookie's been found at level 1 here. Knockup flashed away from Flash already, though, from the NIP mid laner.
That's not going to be particularly nice because the thing is, ASOL is pretty hard to get his plans.
Is that your expectation then? Because
What,
BLG went from like middling, we don't actually expect that much, to literally MSI finals. Is that the expectation with WE now, that this is the beginning of the run?
I need that copy paster of you thought that Team WE was bad. Wayward will smurf soon. Maybe we'll have that copy. I need to go find that. As we get ourselves into game, and we will see whether that smurfing will start right here, right now.
Time to find out. Awesome. I love that Rookie Gyro at the end there. There is some passion in that voice. I love that, you know, we came into game number 5 and the Gyros were all over the place. That's what the pause was for. Chrono break to go back and get some better Gyros in here. Now, to remind everyone, in case you missed it, the first time we started this game, Rookie forced to flash at level 1. So that ASOL going to be flashless for the first few minutes of laning phase.
And you know, Trundle, not normally a champion with a huge amount of gank pressure, but as soon as you get to level 3 and you get that pillar, there is a chance that if Rookie misplaces his W or uses that W and it's interrupted by the pillar, there is gank pressure. Also, Lwandy also been going towards mid lane very, very quickly in these games too. So watch out for W making aggressive moves as they start in bot lane.
Nice knock up onto Photic. Good damage to start this lane off and Stay. Really, really punishing off the back of this trade. Zhuo and Photic forced pretty much out of lane at this point. Stay very happy with the way that this has all started off. He's going to hit level 2 first, and it does mean that Photic and Zhuo just have to back all the way underneath their tower.
This is one of the reasons I don't love picking center lanes into Varus. Varus is very, very good, even early into the game, of punishing the tankier supports which go alongside the center if you're playing stuff like the Tahm Kench, the Braum, the Nautilus, the Alistar. So that, you know, a lot of these picks are pretty good for NIP. Photic and Zhuo, they are one of the best center duos in the LPL. I remember from their time back in past seasons as well. They've had some really good moments there as well. But Stay and Lwandy, who haven't had the best time in laning phase at least, starting this game off, the most important game of the series on, well.
Yeah, and I love the little draft stats we're getting there at the bottom of the screen, that Lwandy 8-1 on this Rakan this year. But opposite, Zhuo, 8-3 on the Nautilus, and on a pick that most teams are banning right now unless they are on that blue side, because it's such a potent support here in the LPL. We'll see what Zhuo can do with this pick. It feels like when you get a Nautilus in a draft right now in LPL, sort of manna from heaven. Let's see if NIP are hungry.
see if they can use that mana to cast any more spells. In this case, Zhuo not quite getting himself that hook onto that target there. Now down on bot side, Aki going towards top side. Instead, I don't think realistically there's a dive potential here. I guess you don't have combat summons. You don't have heal and ignite. There is the chance there. Got the heal on the side of Lwandy. Are they going for this? Level 4, level 3s on the bot lanes.
It's a big old wave that's going to be crashing, and guess where Aki is? He's up in the top lane right now. He's nowhere near to try and be a part of the play. Heng moving in. Photic, the target, flashes away first as Lwandy tanking the tower. No, stay! It's tanking the tower. Forced to flash away. Zhuo's done such a good job to protect his laner. And Heng forced to flash as well. That's 3 summoners from WE.
Okay, what's going to be the implication in mid lane? That's the only real thing that WE could get off this now. You can see that Rookie can't teleport back to lane. That potentially is a problem. Rookie, no flash, no teleport to reset that laning phase. Gives a lot of responsibility now to FoFo to pick up the pieces of a failed bot side dive. It's not the worst case scenario. They don't die under turret. That could have been absolute disaster for them. But still, not what they would have wanted. So you need to see some advantages from mid lane being gamed from this.
We certainly do. We'll see if those advantages can come on through. I'm looking towards that mid lane match for Wayward and Shanji sparring once again. Shanji with a lot of pressure on his shoulders here in game number 5. He's played this matchup multiple times in this series, and it has not looked good for him. Wayward has very much had his number on this Rek'Sai. In the previous game, though, Shanji looking a bit better on the Renekton once he was outside of this matchup. Whether or not he this feels like the monkey on his back right now.
It does, and it's somewhat easier to play this game than it is against, you know, the John or Azir of last game, which is so heavy disengaged that Renekton typically really suffers against. We're taking a bit of a trade here. Remember, no teleport to get back into lane if these trades go badly enough. FoFo already used his teleport to get himself an early buy so he could force Rookie to stay in lane against superior combat stats. But Shanji, speaking of this, doing well in the early lanes so far at least.
That's what we're talking about. You see the sustain, though, from this Rek'Sai. So frustrating to have to play against. But Shanji, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the series. Renekton, kind of known as the top laner that has that sustain that is difficult to push out of the lane. It does feel like old versus new a little bit. But obviously, Wayward going to be forced back. TP's back into that top lane. Shanji will be resetting as well. As Drake taken by WE and NIP answering with Grubs on the top side.
So, stay safely in the spot side as well. One of the biggest factors, arguably the biggest factor in every game of this series so far, and if you're wanting to keep track of this at home, this is a great way to look at it. Just keep looking at the vision on the mini-map.
Photic's in trouble! Sky's Descent comes down. I wasn't sure if a Lightning Bolt would be available for FoFo. Didn't have it in his arsenal. Photic survives.
Holy moly, things getting close and a bit frantic. But again, just watch out for those vision wards on the map, basically, folks. If you're looking for vision control, NIP, they've struggled to make plays when they're on vision. W being very good at getting that if they have the opportunity. Blue Ward in the enemy jungle, that's a good thing. Wayward getting into the enemy jungle as well, potentially even looking towards an aggressive play on Aki. This is a good start from WE, at least on that front.
Aki just gets the knock up while Wayward's tunneling, so he can't get the unburrow. And Wayward immediately slams an emote. Here we go. Round 2. Someone ring a bell, because we're about to kick off again in this bottom side. This time, though, Zhuo on his own. Oh, no,
he's closed the wave!
Stay! What are you doing? Not in game 5! Not like this!
Oh, and stay for the rookie on Team WE, who's honestly had a hell of a split for himself. That is not the way you want it to go in the most important game of your split so far. Important first blood, and it pulls apart WE's intentions towards bot side. NIP, they win on bot side while they still get to stick around top side. Big moment for them. That is such a freebie from Zhuo.
I mean, it's just heartbreak. Zhuo, obviously very good at clearing the wave. Lwandy and Heng are here, but Zhuo has vision over this wall, so he knows that so long as he doesn't go up to the brush, he's certainly fine.
One of the things about Senna Nautilus and why it's so strong is that you can max E on Nautilus, which means that your wave clears better, which means that you can kill the minions and hook him under that turret. He's got the Barmy Cinder and triple cloth armor now. He just wanted an extra shirt on, I guess. He's wearing 3 on the back of each other. That extra armor can very much help Zhuo be such a big factor and a big tank in these early fights.
You got to think about how big Nautilus is, right? Each shirt just goes on like an elbow or a shoulder. Needs a lot of shirts.
Maybe they're like hockey jerseys, the really big ones. I think he might just be able to do that. He's definitely working to be a big defender in this game.
Certainly is. Lead for NIP off the back of that. They got those 3 grubs as well, so we'll be keeping our eyes on Shanji in that regard, who maybe gets a chance to get onto some of these towers, especially with Photic moving up to this top side, changing the way that they approach this Renekton matchup. And we're just split them out once again. Zhuo, you may have got a kill on the last one.
Aki.
This is a 4-man play in the bottom side on towards Zhuo, but like you say, Aki's here. Luckily, Heng was not tanking the tower because that CC chain would have finished him.
NIP's macro has been much better in Game 5 in this early game. Now, what you do with the Senna and why you're seeing the Senna run top lane is because, of course, the Nautilus is really hard to dive, especially with that kill earlier. The extra gold there allows Photic to then stack up on the melee top laner of Wayward, just does the auto Q tap to get souls from Wayward for free, and it stops Wayward getting an individual advantage. So, you've shut down Wayward a little bit. Zhuo is safely farming on the bot side and the dive's been diverted, and Photic gets plate gold in top side in the 2v1 and extra souls. NIP showing a masterclass on how to use the Senna and the Senna lane partner to its full advantage.
I never get bored of watching Wayward, man. Like, he's so cheeky. Stops the recall, immediately the emote comes out. He's looking for another one. Oh, he goes wide this time. And the recall does come up through. That would have been huge, honestly. If he stopped a second recall there, that could have been massive. As they just continue. But in the meantime, State managing to get 2 plates of his own. Can't quite finish that third one. And you can see much more careful positioning this time around.
This time around, yeah. Now, Rookie, how's he doing in the mid lane? Despite the fact that he lost his flash at level 1, even in CS, lost the turret plate, maybe 2 under this mid lane, but considering that, I was wondering whether there could be some threat onto him. It's obviously not been too bad. Rookie ends up eating a Severing Bolt out of FoFo, Lightning Bolt from the heavens as well. It's often said in Chinese mythology as well that to overcome yourself, you must go through one of those trial by heavenly tribulation. It's the Lightning Bolt from the sky. I feel like that's pretty fitting for a Game 5, and Rookie himself in this mid lane.
That Rylai's now finished off for Rookie. TP's back into the mid lane. And Asol, one of these champions that, you know, everyone always talks about the scaling aspect. And yes, of course, Asol is an incredibly strong scaling champion. But not massively dissimilar to Talia in that you can get out onto the map using that movement ability of your W, the Astral Flight, to get into these other side lanes. But WE on the top side of the map here will be able to get themselves these 3 grubs, evening it up to 3 and 3. Or as you can see, NIP grouping up very heavily, looking towards the Drake that's up in 20 seconds. Okay,
so really good vision control from NIP. There are some flank wards from the side of WE, but no teleport for Wayward to use it. So that's basically just some advanced warning. Gives you, again, a bit of a leg up in that advanced, in terms of that information warfare. I don't think there's going to be a contest from WE because of that. They've taken the grubs on top side. No real point throwing yourself into the early game front line of NIP. Instead, they go for a cross map.
Heng just wants to be under towers. That is his game plan today. And the ultimate used by Wayward to deny things. And actually, Shanji died before. I feel like if he dived back under tower, maybe something could have happened. But WE, they get the dive, and they'll get so many plates for it.
I think Wayward ended up avoiding the stun with his ultimate, so Shanji couldn't get the kill before or the stun before the tower aggro reset. So it's going to be a full cross map. 3 grubs to 3 means that it's going to be even in terms of tower taking potential. Lower health though. Of course, you have a Trundle. Trundle, one of the best tower killers in the game as well. So WE going to win the race on that front. More gold in pocket at the cost of a dragon, but a kill and more plates. Potentially first turret will definitely work out for them. Actually saying that, you're not going to be able to stick around for the full turret itself. I don't think Shanji should be able to wave clear this.
In theory, although FoFo doing a good job of pressuring him off and
Yeah,
almost finishing off the kill. Shanji's out of there. FoFo will finish this tower, and he will not let any crocodile stop him.
That's a big moment. That should have been first turret being secured by NEP, potentially on the other side of the map, but both sides now being staved off. First turret finally being taken by FoFo on this top side. This way can be such a difference maker. Halfway through the draft and going towards the end of it, we're saying, hey, we don't really want to see the triple tanks coming in from NIP, especially against Varus and the Hui. They will just shred, mince up these tanks in the front line if you let them. Yes, the A-Soul in the center. The double ults put that into question a little bit more. These carries are not going to be safely chewing through the low-range front line. But when FoFo is getting so much gold, getting itself towards 2 items and the Seraph's completion, WE do have the damage to take away these tanks from NIP.
FoFo 600 gold up individually, 1,000 gold ahead of anyone that's not a mid laner, which is, you know, a very cherry-picked stat that I'm saying, but nonetheless, very fed
so
is
good
what I'm
with numbers,
trying
Joe.
to say. Oh, that's a hook and a half, isn't it? Lwandy caught out in the root lance as well. I don't think they have the damage to finish a kill here. Lwandy on that Rakan can just dash back out to safety. Still a good hook from Zhuo.
So, what are we looking at here now? Mid laners now going to be put into a side lane. It's the ult on Stay! Gets that flash away from him. Again, this AD carry coming up from the LDL. Been caught out of position a couple of times. He's definitely been preyed on by NIP. They're trying to put him under pressure. And in fairness, if there's anyone to put under pressure in a game 5 where everything's on the line, it's the person who is least used to that.
I mean, I feel like WE in general are under pressure. You saw FoFo, who is a veteran. You know, FoFo is a player that's been playing a long time. He's made it far deeper into playoffs than this before. But it felt like he felt the pressure when we were looking in Champ Select, or just after Champ Select, when that Hui was locked in, speaking of on your screen there. But Stay definitely should be feeling the pressure. This would be the furthest WE have made it in playoffs since 2021 if they can make it to that next round and earn the honor of facing against FPX.
And I think particularly for Wayward and Lwandy, who had mixed last years, particularly Wayward in that case, this would be so big for them. Maybe you could even say the same of Rookie on the other side, not making it to international events for a player who's, you know, widely known as one of the greatest of all time. It's an ult from Stay, trade for the cleanse.
I wasn't sure if that was a bit of a bait. Honestly, the ult from Photic perhaps over the top there. The hook does land, but realistically not much else. The cleanse came out, and in the meantime, Harold has been started WE. Happy to kick this one off, and honestly, without Senna ultimate, how confident are NIP? Very, apparently, as they muscle their way into the river. Wayward, who's in the top side of the play. That's a lot of percent damage coming out from the ASOL. Sky's Descent available as Aki moves in. He's trying to steal here, but he's alone. Flashed out of the play. Lwandy gets out of there. The Comet comes down, but it doesn't achieve anything.
Once again, we see NIP being a little slow to one of these objectives. Shanji, no teleport, had to walk his way up and waddle his way up river. Couldn't get there in time. NIP, they snatch and grab at a steal. They're lucky to get away with just burning a couple of flashes, but they don't get that objective. It's a big bounty kind of, well, not bounty, but big win for WE. They get themselves that Herald to potentially use on that mid lane out of turret as well. Again, we keep talking about how important that is in terms of just keeping yourself upticking in terms of that vision. Keep pushing it forwards into the enemy jungle. As it stands, WE, they already had themselves good objective control there. NIP cannot afford to let WE slot into that style again. That's how they've been winning. Getting control of the vision, getting control of the objectives, stopping NIP from pulling the trigger cleanly.
It does feel like NIP have kind of opted in this draft, though, to some extent, right? Where, yes, I totally agree with what you're saying, that is the way that W have been winning, and to be honest, it's not really what I expect from NIP, but the fact that they locked both the ASOL and the Senna is like, we're stacking, boys. We want to go as late as physically possible. We want to try and play front to back with these tanks. Whether or not they can be tanky enough, we've talked enough about the tank shredding from FoFo, from Stay. It definitely feels like this is a style that NIP are opting into, and the fact that we are 3 Grubs apiece, the fact that we are 1 Drake apiece as well to start us off, does feel like it is setting up for this big late game barn burner for both teams.
Rookie safely farming up in a side lane, that's important to note. They're definitely prioritizing this ASOL. Potentially see that Trundle pillar getting someone out, so misses onto Zhuo.
Zhuo does manage to hook over towards the wall and actually gets a triple knock-up. Stay caught out by Aki's ult as well. The damage isn't really there to follow up. As in comes Shanji, shields across the team. Dominus to get him tanky, but he's not tanky enough. The sustain comes through, but he goes down in the end. The root won't land from Photic either. WE, another pick as Drake spawns.
The NIP frontline just can't deal with the damage coming out of WE in the early game. Yeah, the center and the ASOL will help. Here comes the ult, but it misses from Rookie. It actually just clips 2, but I don't think it's enough.
It saved Photic, though. It kept them from going any deeper and finishing Photic off. Wayward nearly picking him off himself there. But the Herald's charged mid lane, and actually, they can keep going for this one. FoFo gonna try and stop Rookie, but no. Gets through the wall anyway. Herald charges in the mid lane. I don't think they'll finish the tower, though.
No, they won't finish the turret, but all the same, NIP threw a lot of ults at WE, and you can see the problem of trying to deal with the Hui and the Varus, who just stand and gun down your tanks. This Renekton has been giving up farm to Rookie, understandably so. This ASOL is going to be a huge artillery cannon in the late game, but for now, before you've kind of got up to the point where you're really tanky or doing a load of damage and dealing damage to the tanks all the same, this Renekton is not going to be a good frontline. It's a great Nautilus ult. Honestly, the Sejuani ult's great too. You're teleporting straight on top of the CC from Wei, it tags onto him, follows him after the flash, and he goes down so easily. Renekton is not tanky versus these carries.
He's certainly not. Couldn't get the sustain off, couldn't get the damage off. Caught out and right on the corner of that fear as well. That was millimeters away from Shanji surviving the play, and maybe the Dragon going a different direction. But either way, doesn't matter what nearly happened. What matters is that FoFo found the fear, he found his target, and now 2 Drakes on the board for WE. It's Chemtech Soul, which means that not only is it, you know, not the most impactful soul of the game, but more importantly to me is the type of rift that it leads to, because there are all kinds of shenanigans when it comes to these Mega Blast Cones, and when it comes to the amount of sustain you get from the Honey Fruit. Like, it feels like it changes the game completely.
And even the base dragons are nice, so people kind of forget about this, and I don't blame them for it because it's been changed a couple of times. It gives you heal and shield power and tenacity. I think that's valuable for both teams, actually. I think particularly with the tenacity against the Sejuani, the Renekton, even the Asol stuns up there too. Senna stun, that's nice. The Rek'Sai healing will be increased per dragon stack there as well. A lot of this can be quite valuable. Hell, even Rakan gets some good value out of that too. So WE, even from base dragons, NIP would like to not give them too many, because it feels like in the front to back, they're going to need a little bit of help until they get a huge amount of stacks. And that's going to be questionable in its own right, whether WE will let them do that.
NIP making a play for top tier 1 tower. In the meantime, Wayward is playing opposites trade. NIP seem unsure about stepping up to this one. I don't know if they thought WE were trying to make a play in the area, but either way, they won't step up, and it means that the tower does survive. So WE now 3 towers on the board. Lwandy on the flank, spotted by Aki.
Lwandy, real shout out to Heng and Lwandy. I think as a duo, when they are unlocked on the map, the amount of control they give this team is absolutely oppressive. Wayward as well, with the Tremor Sense on the Rek'Sai, can help them play safer on weak side, scout out into the enemy jungle. NIP, they need to show that, yes, with a composition that can be a little bit more patient, but all the same, they need to be able to pull the trigger at the right time when the opportunities show themselves. They've struggled to do that when they've lost the vision control. They can't afford to do that in this game, or their spring ends here.
It does feel tense, doesn't it? And it's definitely been the slowest game of the series so far. Even the Corki Azir game makes Hui Asol look fast-paced. But like the Corki Azir game, we saw a lot of contention from both teams. We saw a lot of scrapping and like posturing around each Drake. While we have seen a little bit of that, it's felt more nervous, and rightly so. Again, a lot on the line for both of these organizations. Game number 5. And I tell you what, you can tell playoffs have started, can't you? This feels like playoffs. LPL playoffs is always a banger, but my God, we're only in round 2 and already our second 5-game series. Already so much at stake for the teams.
Yeah, and you know, it feels fitting, you know, that both these teams go the 5 games after everything was so close in the bottom end of the playoff seeding. You know, we talked about the heavenly tribulations earlier. It feels very much like these two teams are being tested in terms of just in terms of the mindset as well. Both these teams, you cannot afford to get your mindset rocks here. You have to be consistent. The rookies need to help their kind of like their brothers in arms here, particularly Stay. You have to look at this guy, the rookie on the team for Team WE, and say, can he withstand this pressure? He's doing okay so far, but he has been under threat. One more big mistake might open the floodgates for NIP. We're getting to the point, you know, Baron's on the table. It's a big problem if you make a mistake now.
Something worth mentioning as well is that Stay has Ghost, which not necessarily a bad thing. Ghost on Baron's very, very valuable in team fights. However, Aki hits one ultimate onto Stay late on into the game, and that could be really bad news for the side of WE with no cleanse there. Lwandy has the option to go into Mikhail's.
Yeah, he's got the Mikhails already. That definitely helps. He's gone as the first item. However, if you blow that, which is easy to do so, that's the only thing you've got. Here comes the ult from Stay.
Oh, Zhuo was caught out here. Shield comes on through, and he will survive. Shanji got onto the backside, forced the flash from FoFo, as Wayward trying to tank up for his team. Shanji, Photic! We talked about the Mega Blast Cones. I didn't expect it that quick. Photic just about gets away with his life, but this should be Drake for WE.
Has this guy been playing Helldivers or what? He just throws himself into the enemy lines. Oh, I almost lost my mind and my voice seeing that. That could have been it so badly. Out of position in that one. It means that WE get to push out on Dragon. Wayward goes again.
Oh, Photic's no flash because of the blast cone, and now they get onto everyone. Rookie has that ultimate available. Dashes over the wall, keeps himself alive, but Photic gone. If it wasn't Drake before for WE, it certainly is now, and that'll be sole point.
Oh man, NIP, they have lost this push of spears in this bot side jungle to go towards this dragon. WE, it's been like the rest of the games they've won. It has been more controlled. They've sat in an area of the map and they've bet that NIP just can't find a way into their battle lines. And that has been the case here. Shanji did get himself onto the back line very briefly. That happened actually just after this point. See him hanging over that wall. But while this is happening, the fight is very split. You know, FoFo does get hit up and, you know, he misses his ult there too, which is a bit of an unfortunate moment for him. But even with that, even with the fight split and the carry's not in the best place, see that if I could do.
Rookie!
That's Rookie! He just right clips behind him and almost loses his team the series.
No. Rookie, what a mistake to make. My goodness. And then Photic just doesn't respect what's available here. Wayward flashing onto him. There we go, easy finish off for FoFo. A bit unfortunate there, but the WE fans are going to be over the moon with the way this one's going.
See the very quick drawing there of that, the prayer, the hands together there, from what we saw on the players before this series came around. NIP, I mean, if that ain't a gift from the heavens as Photic just goes plopped into your team, I don't know what it is. They're going forwards again, not able to quite catch out stay. Here comes the ult and defense though, still good. Rookie's doing some damage now.
If Rookie slams his comment out there, I'm not sure, but maybe that's a kill. Photic, my god, he is squishy, isn't he? FoFo just railing him. And I want to quickly point out the fact that this is Photic's center. Photic kind of famous for how good at center this guy historically is. He brings it out in Game 5 when they are pushed to the brink, when they barely won Game 4 to stay in this series. You expect a magnanimous performance. You expect something incredible. But so far, a little lackluster from him. And perhaps feeling the pressure of Game 5.
And NIP, given this pressure, again, they can't afford to just withdraw into the shell and cower beneath the pressure of WE. Do you think there needs to be some kind of, you know, you need to be respectful about the way you approach it? Absolutely you do, but NIP, they can't just afford WE to have the run of the map. Now, particularly since you're getting to the point where on-hit Varus can shred through Baron, and Trundle's pretty good at tanking it too. I mean, Trundle's going to be a fantastic champion in this game. That ultimate going to get more and more value the later the game goes. It wouldn't surprise me to see a very quick Baron start now, particularly with the 2 to 3 item mark from this Varus. Absolutely shreds Baron.
I mean, earlier on in the series, we saw a two-man Baron from WE at like 20 minutes. Like, this is a team, you know, we keep talking about this team being slow and controlled, but once we're past 20 minutes, they are not afraid to pull the trigger. They are proactive when it comes to their map plays, when it comes to macro, and outplaying the other team on the map. They're very happy to make things like that happen. Lwandy trying to get creative with it, looking for a flank on that Rakan.
Oh, using the Shroud?
In. That's some big damage available from Rookie as well. Burning through the Trundle, but he's damn tanky, and it's Zhuo that might just go down instead. Lightning from the sky, but it's answered with a meteor. Wayward trying to escape on the frontliners. FoFo trying to trade that damage back, but Shanji's getting tankier. And NIP go even. Rookie diving under the tower, hung the target as he's forced away in the root lands, but Wayward zones the rest of the squad.
NIP are not done yet. Zhuo uses the corner hug of Senna's Shroud, where you can come out of Fog of War, and there's a brief moment where you can't see it, to get an unexpected hook onto Heng on that Trundle. Really well played. Both control, they are absolutely no slouches at playing with the Senna combos. Using the Shroud to great effect there. Very nearly gets them a clean win. You get a kill onto that jungler, that's Baron. They've still got something left. They need to be clutch. They almost find themselves a game-winning play at that point. Genuinely could have been. That could turn the game. You get that Baron, and suddenly everything is so much easier for NIP. And it is definitely a reminder to WE that while they have control, they might not always have control.
And crucially, stay. No summoners for the next few minutes. That could be everything here. Let's take another look. Right. As you say, Zhuo starting things off with a great hook.
Yeah, he comes out of the Shroud from Senna, goes around the corner, so Heng just doesn't expect that to come through. Another big thing which people weren't expecting this, you get a lot of stacks from Asol from hitting your ultimate as well. By hitting 3, he's almost next to it, through to his next Skies Descends too. That means that he's going to be up very, very quickly, even pretty much as soon as it comes up on that next one. If he can continually have the Skies Descend for these big fights, Rookie will be such an insane backline assassin.
Speaking of big fight, straight coming up in 40 seconds, and neither team wants to give any kind of space. Photic cleansing from the charm from Lwandy. But the engage from WE kind of mitigated. There's a reasonable amount of sustain here. Wayward trying to escape. Tunnels over to his team and will survive. But Aki is chunked.
Need to see how close Rookie is to that ultimate. I really felt like he's going to be close to it due to hitting a 3-man ultimate just before this. Also important, Trundle still has his ult. While he has ult, it feels like W can just choose one target to remove from the team fight. If that's Zhuo, it's going to be very hard for him to survive. He's caught out right now on the pillar.
It's kind of tanky, but Photic is now way too far forward, trying to protect his support. Almost goes down for it. That's his flash. His cleanse is on cooldown from the previous scrap. Now a TP coming on through as well. Shanji rejoins the action. You can see Aki on the top side of the play. This is tense because it could be sold for WE. Hook onto Wayward, but do they have the damage to burn these tanks down? It doesn't feel like it for now.
You need to have the carries in the pocket for WE. Stay needs to be auto-attacking. Hard to do so while the Nautilus ult is around. Such a fencing match. This could be it.
Aki steps forward, threatening as he dives into the backline. FoFo gets the Mikhails and gets himself out to safety. Shields across the team. Aki flashes out as well. Zhuo on the front line as Shanji escapes, but Zhuo, can he get out with his life? The meteor lands, but it doesn't finish anybody off. Everyone walking away.
And WE win themselves the soul, it feels like. I don't think NIP can get in time. They can't teleport back in. They don't have those globals. The WE, they don't get the kills, but they get themselves the objective. NIP left waiting for another one. Couldn't quite get the Skies Descend in time for the huge team fight Comet. Only the small one available. WE, with this, will now shift their approach towards this Baron to see if they can get themselves the other Uber buff to potentially finish off this series.
It feels so very tense, and I think NIP thanking their lucky stars that it is a Chemtech Soul in this game. Photic at 86 stacks at this point, getting close to that 100 mark that we always talk about with the Senna, getting towards that late game, although on the lethality Senna, not as much of a late game threat as the kind of classic Kraken Slayer build that we used to see all that time ago. And it feels tense. It feels like as well to me that honestly, NIP's composition is not doing that much damage to these tanks. Like Wayward and Heng consistently just sat on the front line, soaking up a lot of this damage.
And I think that you're really waiting until, you know, something like the Void Stack comes in from Rookie. Photic, yeah, he'll end up doing some okay damage throughout the late game as well, just because stacks give you so much extra stats to throw on top of things, but you need just a little bit more. The Blood Song also helping with that too. The kind of exposed weakness can very much help with regards to that. Rookie, does he have himself that big ult next it comes up? I don't think it's seeing it on that icon there. I would love to know how close he is to that one. If that Skies Descent comes through, maybe you just kill the backline. It doesn't matter if you don't kill the front line as quickly, if the carries are dead.
Certainly true. He's level 16 at this point. And again, Rookie, first game of the series where they're on the red side, gets the counter pick in that ASOL. And now he has to carry. You see almost 300 CS at the 30-minute mark here. As Aki does get himself over the wall. Wayward threatening on the top side of the play, but the pillar already on cooldown. Means NIP walk away. But these long-range fights, WE are winning every single time.
I mean, it's just the nature of Way. Way gets to be pretty much everything in a mage. You can't do it at all the same time with all the same cooldowns. You've got to choose one of 3 different flavors of them. When he's firing through those skill shots from that Q, particularly the QW on people who've lost a bit of HP already, he absolutely shreds. Rookie is like a stack or 2 away from the big ult. He's going to get it on this wave, I think, as well. He'll poppy on this, and he'll have it after that. WE, they need to be very, very careful. Their tanks are tanky. They win the front line, but they cannot afford to have the dive work on to stay in FoFo.
Skies Descend comes on through. Photic using the ult to spot out the Baron. It's enough to dissuade WE, but that's a big cooldown for NIP. Rookie steps on forward, does need to be a little cautious himself.
He does. Again, damage on both these teams. It's late game now, folks. It is very, very late game, so we're getting to the point where the stacks are starting to really, really come to bat. We've got lots of items on both sides. If Wayward finds himself onto a backliner as well, make no mistake, Rek'Sai can sometimes struggle to stick to a target, but once he's melee range, oh my word, he's going to do damage. He's over the wall. He's spotted out. He's rooted down.
Okay, bit of damage coming on through. Zhuo flashes on the opposite side of the play. Wayward's caught, and Wayward's down. Rookie finds the kill, and Zhuo's hunting for a little bit more. Lwandy dives over the wall himself, but now NIP inside track towards the Baron.
Okay, that's a huge moment. Only one frontliner left in the form of this Trundle, and NIP now have the chance to go towards the Baron. The ASOL continue to just breathe death on the Baron and try and burn it down.
They do this so quickly, but WE trying to engage onto Zhuo as Photic moves over. Stay gets caught by the depth charge. In the meantime, FoFo gets a fear.
We've switched sides.
Shanji and WE, they're being corralled on the wrong side of the map, and FoFo can't be a part of the play. Zhuo gets onto Lwandy. He's trying to buy time and space for his carries, but it's Stay and Heng that the rest of NIP are hunting. Rookie over the wall. The Skies Descend still available as he starts to burn through WE. The root comes through onto Heng. Aki here to follow it up, but that breath of light is all but darkness for WE.
The ninjas work in the darkness, but their mid laner brings a flickering flame of light, which roars into a full bonfire. That could just be it. Jungler down, AD carry down. That should be Baron going with it. Even though the Chemtech Soul was a nice pickup for WE, it doesn't mean they can win these fights against the scaling carries. Baron going down sees NIP into this game.
Rookie doing the damage, being the carry for the squad. He got the 5th pick on red side. He locks the A-Soul, and he's carrying these fights. Huge one for NIP as they burn through the Baron. There's no contestation whatsoever from WE. They realize they can't fight for this one. Baron secured, and Elder up in 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's a perfect timing for the Elder, because now what this means is that you get the Baron, you get the reset, you get to push out another set of waves and contest that on full value. Wayward spotted on vision. He's looking for a tunnel over the wall. He did this so well earlier in the series, but really the route over the wall from Senna, I think it wasn't just blind. You can see them with that ward just over Raptor Pit. This is what changes everything. The thing is, though, he's trying to bait him in because, you know, if Photic gets hit by Wayward, that could be the fight over in itself, but the whole team flies over the wall and suddenly the front line is down. So much of this late game of this series has been about front line versus front line. And in this game, in the important moment here around the Baron, it's NIP who managed to just about last things out until it's actually Wayward that makes an uncharacteristic mistake on the Rex side.
And I think part of that mistake is the fact that A-Soul can shred you. He's been so invincible, he's been so unkillable the rest of this series. Not anymore. 20 seconds on Elder. NIP desperate to keep their playoff streams alive. This would be the furthest they've ever got as an organization, and Wayward forced away by Rookie on the A-Soul. Drake
he
about
can teleport back in. He can teleport back in, but will he be in time? Here comes the fight. He's not here.
It's a huge pick, and it's Lwandy on his signature Rakan that goes down. Shanji's found the backside, but FoFo survives, and the spiraling Sparrow turned it around. But Zhuo gets onto the rest of the carries, and Rookie burns them to a cinder. The stars collapse down around WE's ears. It's a quadra kill for Rookie, one of the best to ever do it. He gets the counter pick, and he destroys WE.
How fitting is it that in the year of the Dragon, it's the Dragon from the mid lane which sees NIP through to what it seems to be a real heavenly matchup with the Phoenixes in the next round. Quadra kill for the mid laner, pushing down mid lane.
You thought this was the year of Smolder. No, no. This is the year of A-Soul. First Nexus Tower in trouble. Wayward gets some knockups. Can they finish the kills, though? The health bar's down to half, but Photic survives. Wayward trying to tank up for his team. He might just have held on for WE.
Oh, wow. We've got ourselves a final twist in this. NIP, they still walk away with that one fight, but importantly, they can't end the game before the Elder, before the Elder's been taken. So now they don't finish that game. Elder's still up. We can still have ourselves an Elder flip, and well, we've just been talking about NIP potentially doing this as a victory lap. WE have maybe one last fight in them due to the last-minute wave clear from Wayward and Lwandy.
It has been so long since we saw Rookie on an international stage. It's been so long since we saw him on a team where it felt like he could succeed. Even the top esports roster not working out. And now, on the cusp, game 5, Aki core out. Damage coming out from Rookie is enough to save his jungler.
It is, but that's the Trundle and the Varasol, two very important tools. No ult's really used on this side of NIP. Well, they use the Sejuani ult, but they do have the Skies Descend, and that might just be enough in itself. Rookie ready to go again, looking towards that angle, looking towards the flank. Who's he going to find?
Wayward chunked immediately. And I love that Rookie just holds this ult until the perfect moment. Doesn't want to give the game away, doesn't want to use that resource. Elder started off by NIP now as WE. They've run out of time to scale. They've got to fight. They've got to hold onto this series. Rookie looking for the flank. This could be it from NIP, but no. Cancels the dash. Doesn't go in just yet. He's on a control ward, so they don't know where he is. Heng pulled in, but Lwandy is behind them, and he's found Rookie. That's the knockup. The Comet falls, but it's not enough. Stay dashes to the backside. He's low, and Aki finishes the job. The Sejuani dive, but Wayward takes out Rookie, and Heng now forced away from the play. Lwandy trying to survive, gets the heal, but he just goes straight down. Photic is still firing. FoFo has to be the carry for WE. Wayward gets yet another knockup, and the Way has its moment to shine. line. Aki will be taken down, and Heng is still in the picture. Smite available. WE, they will get Elder Dragon, and NIP flee with their tails between their legs.
Oh, the QW!
Taken from the other side of the map as Zhuo desperate to escape, but he's burning. Heng can't chase for more, but WE get Elder.
FoFo teleports back to the base to save Nexus turrets, but WE, we were ready to write them off. Felt like after the quadra kill, that should have been it. Should have been NIP through to the next round. But WE, oh my word, they have pushed the Ninjas the entirety of this series. It won't end the game, this Elder, but it will extend it beyond what we thought could possibly happen. We have ourselves another twist, another chapter still yet to write. The stacks keep stacking, the game keeps going.
And how fitting is it that it's Wayward that finds the shutdown onto Rookie, his old teammate. Rookie in the pit, but Wayward flanking the flanker.
And FoFo, late game Way. We haven't had much chance to talk about it. He hasn't really had the team fights to show it so far, but, you know, it's a pretty overextended kill on to stay. It takes a lot from Aki to get there, and it means that Rookie has no peel left for him. So Zhuo goes forwards, no one's there to save the Assault, even with all of his stacks from this monstrous wreck site. Elder is still on for another minute, NIP. They can wave clear for now. Of course, there's no Baron buff on the side of WE. Baron buff spawning in a minute. And with this Elder, it does mean that WE get to do that thing which has typically given themselves the leg up. Walk into the enemy jungle, drop wards, control the map, try and slow things down, and try and make sure that NIP don't have the angles to the engage, so Rookie can't just fly over a wall and end this game.
It feels like such an important series here for both organizations, not just in terms of, you know, the players, we've been talking about that, but also the actual organizations themselves. Both of these orgs committing a lot financially to these rosters. These are the biggest rosters these two orgs have seen, for NIP ever, for WE in a long time. And they need to make it work here in spring, here in Game 5. Can they make it to round 3? WE, off the back of that Elder, will secure themselves that Baron. Shanji answers it with a tier 2 in the bottom lane. And WE now with the potential to siege into this base.
You've got that handy little graphic on the bottom left-hand side of your screen as well, which is the mid lane inhibitor. Time up being down, only 20 seconds, so WE, they'll be able to kind of protect their base a little bit easier with that one now too. They did lose the Nexus Tower, so NIP, if there is an opening shown, I mean, how many times have we seen a Game 5 be ended through a little bit of a teleport through to that Nexus? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just putting it on the table because this game has been very, very tense. WE, feels like their base is a bit of a glass house right now. Got to be careful to throw too many stones.
I will say as well, we're 40 minutes into the game with this much damage on either side, even with the inhib towers up. I'm not sure NIP's base will survive a lost team fight. It's down to this positioning. This is where WE have been at their strongest all split long. It's when it comes to the late game, when it comes to map positioning, when it comes to vision control. And vision control they absolutely have in this bottom quadrant. It's tier 2. NIP moving over to defend it. 5 strong here on the defense.
Most important things to look out for. Of course, Rookie needs to see when he hits his next Sky's Descent. He doesn't have it right now. The most important ults in this game are particularly the Trundle ult. I think also the Varus ult is really important too. I think they're really good at pinning one of these frontline members down. See that WE, they're splitting across the map, trying to take as many lanes of pressure as they can. And NIP, they need to just try and wave clear, particularly stall out until that Sky's Descent comes back up.
Wayward just kind of ignoring Shanji in the mid lane as well. Actually takes the inhib tower down with the help of those Baron minions. Still another minute of Baron to work with for WE. And they are slowly but surely working their way through these towers. Aki moving over towards this mid lane. They will be able to defend that inhibitor. But it should mean that the tier 2 in this bottom side goes down. Still a minute on the Baron. Perhaps WE can push for a little bit more.
I think they can. Again, they have themselves some really powerful ultimates. A good Varus ult could really change the story of this game. This front line is not very tanky when there's a Trundle ult on them as well. The Trundle pillars setting up for a Varus ult could be a very, very big tool to use.
Shanji trying to hold off Wayward in the mid lane. Rookie's moved over as well, but Wayward just tunnels on out. This is the pain of dealing with a Rek'Sai on the enemy team. 30 seconds on the Baron. This is pretty much the last minion wave that they'll get to work with. Rookie trying to clear it as Photic moves in as well. And the siege is weathered by the side of NIP. We're in game 5. We're headed towards 45 minutes on the clock. Gold is 300 apart between the teams right now. And Elder respawns in just over 60 seconds.
Okay, huge item completion, or half item completion coming through for Rookie. He has a Seekers now. Much harder to shut him down if he chooses the right moment to go as Golden. I mean, yesterday, in the game 5 we had, just yesterday, by the way, between Wayward and IG, we saw some pretty awkward Zonyas in the late game which didn't have value. However, if you manage to get good enough stasis so you don't get that immediate kill, you can flash out. Flash Zonya is very powerful. Rookie can reposition. And that could potentially be a huge tool for NIP. Now, Elder coming back up again in 40 seconds. Vision control and the whole map being pushed into favor of WE. Can they stop NIP from finding the angles, which saw them into a near game-ending state just a few minutes before?
Wayward's on a flank again, but he's spotted out. And we'll have to rejuggle the situation, try and find another way in. Photic with a spell shield here, keeps it intact. Keep your eyes on FoFo, trying to pop that spell shield from a distance to set up for a potential all-in from Lwandy. NIP desperately trying to muscle their way into their own half of the mid lane. Doesn't feel like it's their half right now, as Lwandy, though, chunked. Photic, by the way, is full build on this lethality center.
Yeah, he has himself a water gun, but that's the ult, but it's the cleanse away that Mikhail's bought for the Zhuo ultimate.
Aki, nice little shot there. I got a little overexcited. Mikhail's exists. And Stay will get away. But that was FoFo's flash as well.
That's important. Okay, so now they get to win this mid lane pressure through that Zhuo ultimate. They can enter the river through the safe part of it, but is it safe enough? Wayward on a flank, Lwandy on a flank. Photic no spell shield, but has cleanse, and the Elder has started.
Couldn't be tenser. Here we go. Heng being burnt on the front line. Lwandy tries to get in, but he's forced out. Zhuo barely surviving with his own life as Heng steps forward on the front line. Wayward flanking once again, but he's stopped. He can't finish it off. The railgun across the team, and Wayward out the top side of the fight. Elder, still at 8k as Shanji tries to find a flank now. NIP onto the objective. WE have to step up.
Wayward's back.
Sustained back to almost full HP. There's a reset and a TP coming on through from Zhuo. The front line regenerated. It's a smite.
Goes to Aki.
Aki wins it. Heng will fall. FoFo is next. And after all of that, NIP take it on a 50-50.
It's a flip for the series. It's a flip for their lives in NIP. They get the Elder, but can they get the wave into the enemy base? Wayward, he's trying to stop it. He doesn't manage to get the very last minion. NIP, with these death timers, they're going to give it a good damn shot at finishing the game, and they should be able to do it.
There's only one Nexus tower. Who cares if you've got minions? I'm pretty sure 5 strong NIP can finish this one out. After 5 long games, they manage to finish the job. Rookie gets counterpick in game number 5, and Rookie carries NIP to round 3.
They are bloodied, they are bruised, they are exhausted. But the Ninjas in Pyjamas make it a full 5-game series victory for themselves. They overcome Team WE, and honestly, hats off to them. They did so much better than I would have expected after the regular split. They can leave sad, but with their heads held high. What a series it was. Such a privilege to be able to watch this League of Legends. The tenseness of it, the drama of it. We play it out to the full extent here on the stage in front of the fans. NIP go on to face the Phoenixes, Fun plus Phoenix in the next round for another mythical matchup.
The furthest this organization has ever made it in playoffs since the rebrand. And now they have to live up to V5. V5, either the very worst team in the world or one of the very best teams in the world. Let's see if that's going to be a similar story for NIP. They've got an opportunity to make a run through this bracket now. They've made it to top 6. But you thought the A-Soul was intergalactic. They're up against the Milky Way next.
I like that. That was nice. So anyone, get all your telescopes out ready. We're going stargazing next time. 2 days' time. Tell your family, tell